The March 12th, 2025 meeting of Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order. Before we get into pledge and everything, just glad to be back. A couple of reminders for the board. One is don't just raise your hand and start talking. Wait till you're recognized. Otherwise, it messes up the minutes. The other thing is we really have like three pieces. The first piece is questions pertinent to the case. Second piece is the motion and the second. After that is when we get into the discussion. So prior to that, just keep your comments to questions only, and save your comments for our discussion portion. Okay? With that, if everybody would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may ask any questions of any witness, as long as they're pertinent to the case. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chairman and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask that all persons giving testimony this evening to stand and be sworn in by the clerk.
Everyone could stand and raise your right hand if you intend to be giving testimony. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide the board tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, we will be taking cases out of order. If you guys want to mark your agenda, our first case will be 25-0620. Number 2 is 244946. Number 3 is under unfinished business. I'm sorry, yeah, under unfinished business, 244597. Number 4, 244862. Number 5, 244917. Number 6, 250068. And then we'll finish up with the ones that I didn't mention. Okay? Ex parte communications. At this time, I'd like to ask all board members if they had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, where and when the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you received any written communications, please disclose the nature of the communications and provide a copy to the city clerk to be filed in the record. Starting on the 10th?
I have not.
I have none.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I've had none.
Very good. Approval of minutes. Everybody hopefully has had a chance to review the February 12th, 2025 minutes. If there are no additions, corrections, or anything else to add to the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion approved. On to our first case.
First case this evening will be case number 25-0620, City versus Circle K Stores Incorporated for the property located at 5602 East Fowler Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-1047, landscape maintenance, Section 12-1049, landscaping perimeter, and Section 12-1043, plant material and design. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This is a notice of repeat violation. This case was presented by Officer Robinson to the board on July the 10th, 2024. MCEB case number 24-1758. The board found a violation did occur and the property was brought into compliance prior to the MCEB hearing. On February the 5th, 2025, I observed dead and missing plant material, lack of mulch, and a functional irrigation system. A notice of repeat violation was issued on the 5th of February 2025. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to the store manager, Ift Hakrul Islam. Spoke with him about the repeat violation and requested immediate action to correct the violation. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by myself on February the 5th, 2025, and a copy of the order of finding in 24-1758.
Accept that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows the front of the business along East Fowler Avenue lacking the 3-foot hedge buffer. Exhibit number 2 shows dead or missing landscape along East Fowler Avenue and North 56th Street. Exhibit number 3 shows dead or missing plant material on the north side of the site. Number 4 is damaged irrigation tubing on the south side of the site. Number 5 shows lack of irrigation at the southwest corner of the site. Exhibit number 6 shows the lack of irrigation and mulch at the southeast corner of the site. As of today's date, the site has been out of compliance for 35 days. Based on a repeat, city staff recommendation would be a fine of at $25 per violation, so it's $75 a day, times 35 days out of compliance would be an amount of $2,700.
Any questions for the code officer?
Mr. Chairman, I just have to clarify this. It's not in compliance.
No, sir, it's not in compliance.
City's recommendation here is $25 per day,
$75.
but it's still, or up to $75 per day, depending on what the board wants to do, but it's not in compliance. So there can't be a total amount if it's not in compliance.
Okay.
Okay? So
So currently, it's been out of compliance for 35 days.
Yes, sir.
It is-
As of
it is-
today, it's been
As
out
of
of
tonight, it's still out of compliance.
Yes, sir, as of today it would be 35 days
So
out.
your point is, we can't just fine them $2,700 because it remains out of compliance.
that's correct.
So it would be 20, if the board chooses, it would be $2,700 plus $75 a day while it continues to be out of
I
compliance.
want to make that clarification.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Could you repeat that last part? It would be, you said something.
It would be it's currently out of compliance for 35 days, so it's $2,700 if we follow the recommendation. But if we also follow the recommendation, it will continue to grow at $75 a day, 25 for each violation, until it is brought into compliance.
Ernest Mueller, on behalf of the city of Temple Terrace. Because it's a repeat violation, the actual fines can begin the day that it was observed, which would be going back to 35 days. But then it would continue to run until the violations are corrected. So it's saying just a little bit different what you were saying. Instead of a set sum, we would just have if you make a finding of a violation.
So we don't have to make a finding as to the past violation. We just say that if they're found in violation, that there is a continuing fine from the day starting on February 5th until it's brought into compliance.
Is that the start of the 35 days you calculated? Yes, then yeah. that's-
So, but we don't have to give them, there's no flat fine? It's-
No, there won't be because
Still-
it's our position that it's still out of
ongoing.
violation.
It's
But of course,
City's
it's
position that it's ongoing.
all your determination, but if you find there's a violation and it's still an active violation, then there would be no flat. It would just be whatever daily fine you would come up with that would start on February 5th.
But we already did the daily fine of $75 per day.
No, that's the
That's
recommendation.
why.
Oh, that's,
The recommendation by the board,
oh, okay.
the code board.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. All right, sorry.
I have,
Now that we've settled that, do we have any questions for the code board?
Yes.
For the code officer?
yes,
Also, the respondents are here
Okay,
as well.
we'll get to
but I
them.
could answer questions.
yes. I want to ask you why we consider them, I know they had the same issue before, and that's why they became repeated violation. They never corrected that issue before?
Oh, no, sir, they did. The violation was corrected, it was brought into compliance, it didn't stay in compliance. It fell back out of compliance. I think that maybe, was maybe the landscapers, the contractor that they were utilizing possibly, not properly functioning irrigation certainly doesn't help for, dead plants, especially in Florida, so.
Yeah, and the definition of a repeat is, what's the time
Within the-
It's the
period?
same, 5 years.
5 years.
Within
So-
5 years.
Yeah, so if, whatever the violation is, whether it's parking in your yard or on the grass or whatever, if that same violation occurs within 5 years, it's considered a repeat.
And
Yeah, I know, I understand, but 5 years for landscaping, I'm just trying
That's the
to
definition.
understand the case a little bit
That's the
better,
definition.
to be fair.
Do you have any additional questions?
Well, that's about it, you know.
can I,
Let me clarify. It came into compliance earlier this year in 2025,
Yeah,
Sir, did.
or 2024, I should say, last year in 2024.
Okay.
We don't have to look back 5 years.
yeah, that was,
We look back less than a year.
yeah, that was my question. It seemed, if I read it right, it was in May of 2024 is when I don't know if it came into compliance then, but,
and then it fell out of compliance in February.
yeah, so it's been recent. It hasn't been 5 years.
I think maybe some light could be shed on the subject if the respondents
Yeah, we'll-
possibly come up.
we'll get that.
And be able to speak to
Sure.
them.
Come on up, if you want to.
Hi, I'm Teresa Wilson, representing Circle K in this store.
Address, please.
The address at this location is 5602 East Fowler Avenue.
Thank you.
I'm the new regional director for the area, and the district manager that originally had this store before and had spoken to Lori, her name was Audrey, and she has since then been terminated from the company. We have a new district manager named Candace who just assumed the market less than 30 days ago. I just now received the email about the compliance, being out of compliance on March the 7th. So this is the first I'm hearing about it as of March the 7th, so I have not had time to bring it into compliance because the assistant manager that Lori has spoken to several times has not brought it to the DM or my attention that it's been out of compliance, or it would already have been fixed. I am meeting her at the store tomorrow. I reached out to her when I found out about it and got the email. I'm meeting her at the store tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I already have a landscaper meeting me there to take care of the problem and issue, but I just found out on March the 7th.
Okay. Any questions for the respondents?
Yeah, I
ahead.
just, do you anticipate being able to complete this within a month, perhaps 30 days?
I should be,
Within a week.
Within a week, okay.
he's my
I'm
TSM,
the
he's
Facilities
facility.
manager for
Can
Circle,
you identify yourself, please, sir, since you spoke?
Eddie.
I'm the facilities manager for Circle K for this region.
Your name?
Stephen Clark,
Thank you.
thank you. I was involved with the old market manager for the first violation. And I brought copies of invoices where we dealt with it, fixed the irrigation, and we replanted the plants. If you want to see that from the May, June, if you don't mind. Y'all want to see it?
Sure.
We did at that time, but we had issues with homeless people messing with our power for our irrigation. Since that time, we put lock boxes on everything, so we'd go over there, find the irrigation box unplugged. You know, why is it getting unplugged? We looked at cameras. People at night were using it to charge phones and that kind of thing. So we put lock boxes on the irrigation, like all of it's locked up. And, you know, we understand that we use a third party as a national company to save cost money. So what that is a company that hires the cheapest person to do your landscaping, right? They run over our sprinkler heads, you know, we get it, right? Well, we decided today at our corporate office that we're gonna actually hire a local landscaper for this location moving forward. That way we don't have these issues moving forward.
Great.
And they will deal directly with me and
Yeah.
the district manager.
And we get it, you know, we understand. We're here to make it right. But we did address it. We didn't get this information to our office, so once you issue your whatever, it comes to our corporate office here in Tampa. We got it last Friday, and we acted right then. So.
Okay.
Store people don't communicate stuff. I apologize. You know, once we find out, we're here to do the right thing.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions, I will entertain a motion.
I'll be glad to make a motion.
Thank you.
In case number 25-0620, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 5602 East Fowler Avenue. Applicable code sections 12-1047, landscape maintenance, section 12-1049, landscaping perimeter, and section 12-1043, plant material and design. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the respondent be found to be a repeat violator as defined by City Code Section 1-63, because the respondent has been found to have violated the same provision of the City Code within the previous 5 years, regardless of property address. I further move that a daily fine be assessed for the repeat violations from the time of the notice of the repeat violation until the time the repeat violations are corrected. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine to be $75 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
I don't like the $75.
Will you?
The reason is because, you know, as you see, to be fair, the real people who would really act on this, which became repeated violation because they did not get the right information and it's miscommunication like they mentioned, I think I would say $25 per day. Just I'm disagreeing. I can't not make it a beat violation because it's a city code, but it's unfortunate. So that's why I'm objecting to the amount.
So are we talking $75 a day from today? We're talking
February 5th.
from it's February 6th.
February 5th.
5th, okay.
So
ahead.
okay, so I just think we have a history of multiple violations being more than $25 per day. I mean, I think that we need to be consistent at the very least.
Yeah, I understand.
And-
For people who would really intentionally, it doesn't seem, to me, I'm not convinced that they did this intentionally. Now, you know, as you see, this is a big corporation, so to get that information, and they just fixed it. And I agree with them. I own a business here. We got homeless people that don't leave the place alone. You cannot have guards for these places.
No, but intentional to me is they don't intend to do it. However, they need to have practices in place,
Well,
and it took this to get there.
Did we get that invoice back, Joe? Because there was some language in the invoice that specified that some of the damage did come from mowers on the irrigation system.
There was testimony to that effect.
Yeah.
They had this.
So, just, I do like to have it in black and white. And per the city's recommendation of $25 per violation per day, we just wanted to maintain that consistency that I think we seek. Thank you.
Yep, yeah, like you
Okay,
were.
well, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
One nay, motion passes. So you've been found in violation. The fine is $75 per day, starting on on February 5th, until such time as the property is brought into compliance. Thank you. Next case,
You
please.
remind them that they can come back if they have a problem.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. You do have the opportunity, is there a, can they come back and,
No.
Well, the situation is normally, you allow that when you set a deadline for compliance. There is no deadline for compliance.
No, but I mean,
Compliance is already running.
what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I've been.
Lien reduction.
Lien reduction.
They absolutely can do a lien reduction when they come into compliance.
Yes, once you bring the property into compliance, you can ask for a lien reduction, and you'll be dealing with Ernie on that. But you have to bring the property into compliance first. Okay? Next case?
Next case is case number 24-4946, City versus Terrace Ridge Incorporated, for the property located at 5509 East Fowler Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-234B48B, outdoor seating restaurants. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated on December the 31st, 2024, when I visited the business on their outdoor seating requirements. A check with Community Development that same day noted a site plan requirement was not submitted to City Planner for review or approval. On January the 2nd, 2025, I spoke with the business manager on the changes of the code ordinance that was implemented back in July of 2022. A check with city planners on January the 31st, 2025 noted no site plan submitted. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of February 17th, 2025. I sent over a copy of the notice letter by email, and the property manager confirmed delivery, manager Stacy Robinson. A check with that city planner noted no change on February the 28th, 2025. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on January the 30th, 2025.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
Thank you. Exhibit number 1 shows tables and chairs outside on the breezeway. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance. At this time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm just looking for a finding.
Accept that. Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Is the respondents here?
No, sir, they are not.
Are they?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, sir, they are. Yes, she is.
Did you want to
Please.
approach?
Do you want to come up and say anything?
No. Wait till you get up here. Name and address.
Name and address. My name is Sharon Dean, and the address is 5509 East Fowler Avenue.
Floor is yours.
I just wanted to reiterate what she said. We did come in compliance on March 3rd. We're New York Pizza, a small pizza shop. Okay. We're kind of unfamiliar with the processes of a city municipality we operate in, other Hillsborough County, City of Tampa. City of Temple Terrace is a little bit different for us, but we did make some phone calls. We came down, I came and visited downtown, your office here, to try to see what all we would need to do in order to come into compliance so that we can have that outdoor seating. And what I think we're told yesterday morning was that there would have to be pylons put in there for the seating. And as you can see from the picture, there's not a lot that outside of putting pylons up. You know, there's a curb area that's probably 8.5 inches in depth. You know, there's also a speed hump that goes out there. There's columns and pylons there, but they're not the ones that the city of Temple Terrace is looking for. Which makes that a little bit of a stretch for a small business like us. So we have removed the seating because at this point we don't know really what else to do. But that's the statement that I have.
Thank you. Any questions for the respondent? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 244946, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 5509 East Fowler Avenue. With the applicable code violation, Section 12-234, subsection B, subsection 48B, outdoor seating restaurant. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer, Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there would be no fine imposed because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So you have been found in violation. but because you brought it in compliance before this evening, there's no fine. Okay, now, having said that, if, within the next 5 years, if you have outdoor seating without the requisite pylons, whatever you need to do, that's considered a repeat violation, and the fines go up from there. Okay?
We'll go through the process.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. You're welcome to stay, you can leave, whatever you feel like doing.
Miss Pizza.
Next case, please.
Mr. Chair, just a quick question. Ms. Dean, are you also here for case 244945? Carrabba's, never mind, just wanted to double check. Thank you very much.
Next case.
Next case is under unfinished business. It is case number 24-4597, City versus Matthew W. and Kelly J. Godwin for the property located at 8608 Beverly Drive. The deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
This case last month was presented by Stephen Valley. This was for a few violations: inoperable vehicles, premise to keep premise clean, sheds in the rear yard. Just want to kind of update you. The respondents are here this evening to request an extension for the, so I just need them to come up.
Sure.
Just state your name and.
My name's Wayne Souther. I live at
Hang on,
86.
before we do any of that, have all three of you been sworn in?
I believe so, yes, except this.
I haven't.
You haven't?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
You could,
Get him sworn in.
raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide the board tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, name and address.
My name's Wayne Souther. I live at 8608 Beverly Drive. My brother and sisters are the owners of the house. I live there, and I pretty much cleaned up everything I had to clean up. I did finish it today, but at the last moment. But all three sheds are down, taken down. The vehicles have been moved before. I think we cleared that case up last time I was here on the vehicles. They've been moved already. I got the water in the water in the garbage like it's supposed to be now. The city, I had a hard time getting it because my name wasn't on the paperwork. And as far as being owner of the house, and I didn't have a lease, so they wouldn't turn it on for me. So I was using somebody else's, my next door neighbor that owns the house that's empty. But I now have it in my name back, or in my brother's name though, but it's turned on in our name now, and I've cleaned up everything I'm supposed to clean up.
Will you be home tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Can I come by and take a look?
Sure you can. Yep.
What time is good for you, sir?
Anytime you want to come over tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow, so I'll be here.
Okay, very good. You guys want to add something to that, or?
Nothing to add.
Okay. Ma'am, you want- Okay.
Ernie, can we give them a extension of 48 hours? Or do we have to give it to the next
We gotta
meeting?
do, I think, 30.
You can give as long of an extension as you want. I just think it would probably be easier to do the standard
Okay,
extension to the next meeting.
all right, what's the board's preference?
I would say,
30 days.
All right, I need a
I would say
motion.
the next meeting.
Need a motion.
Gives everyone time.
Somebody,
I will make motion to extend in case number 244597 till our next meeting on April 9th, 2025.
do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir, I'd like to ask a question. My brother.
Too late, hang on. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Okay, so you've been given an extension until April 9th
Okay.
to get it all cleaned up,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, I was just
I
gonna
just,
say-
hang on, let me finish. You've said that it is already all cleaned up?
Yes, sir.
So once they take a look at it and confirm that, they'll fill out the requisite paperwork and you'll get something in the mail.
Yes, sir. I was just gonna say, the next meeting, do they have to come? They live way on the other side of town.
Nobody has to come if it's cleaned up.
Okay, all right.
Okay, if they go out there tomorrow or the next day and it's all cleaned up, that's the end of it.
Okay,
Okay, the only reason you would have to
Okay.
come back here is if they find something and you have compelling reasons why you can't get that fixed up by April 9th.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Next case.
Next case is back under new cases, case number 24-4862, City versus 7021 East Fletcher Avenue LLC for the property located at 7021 East Fletcher Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-234B48B, outdoor seating restaurants. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Laurie Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Laurie Smith, Code Compliance. This case was originated by building official Dallas Foss on December the 18th, 2024. I visited the business on their outdoor seating requirements. A check with community development that same day noted a site plan requirement was not submitted to the city planner for review or approval. On December the 28th, 2024, I received a phone call from the owner, Matt. He was apologetic and stated he would be reaching out to the city promptly and would be submitting a design plan to gain approval for outdoor seating at the restaurant. I explained to him that there was a revision to the code in July 2022. A check with the city planners on January the 31st, 2025 noted no site plan submitted. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of February the 14th, 2025. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to Assistant Manager Dana Utley. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on January the 30th, 2025.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1, 2, and 3 shows the tables and chairs outside on the breezeway. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance. At this time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance. I'm just looking for a finding.
We'll accept that, thank you.
That's from the previous.
May want to explain. May want to explain something.
That'd be nice.
The reason that it can come into compliance, if you take the tables and chairs off the breezeway, that makes the violation go away. Now, if they put it back out there, certainly they would not be in compliance. They removed the tables so that, again, it's not on the breezeway. Anybody in a wheelchair or coming down the walkway is unhindered passage.
Is there anything in the code that allows outdoor seating?
Yes. So if you want to have outdoor seating, you have to submit a site plan. Just what we're looking for is measurements of the breezeway, the size of the tables, how many chairs, how many tables, and it's got to be ADA compliant. But all we're looking for is somebody to submit a site plan of what the outdoor seating style is.
Oh,
And once they do that, the city will either approve it or not approve it. But it has to be ADA compliant. That's our main reason why we're doing this.
and just for clarification, what sort of site plans are needed? Like a drawing?
A drawing,
Okay.
a drawing,
With measurements?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. There's got to be a 3-foot path so a person in a wheelchair can get by
Gotcha.
that area.
There's also some parking restrictions too, as far as if because the extra seating has to be accommodated if it's in a.
There's got to be a buffer around the setting of the
Any
table.
questions?
Mr. Chairman and board members, I did want to say as well that a check this afternoon, I have 3 copies of New York, Carrabba's, and Barbaritos, not submitting anything for city's approval as far as an application. I've made 3 copies, so 1 would be for each one. If you'd like me to submit those other 2, I can.
Fine. But as it stands right now, it is in compliance.
No, sir. No, I mean, yes, Barbaritos is in compliance, sir, and then also New York is in compliance.
Because they took the
They
table
took
and
the
chairs
tables out of the walkway, correct.
Any other questions? Is the respondent here? Did you want
Yes,
to come up?
there's a gentleman here that would like to come up and address the board.
Come on up.
Mr. Sam Pastor.
Thank you.
Have you been sworn in?
Yes.
Okay, name and address.
Sam Pastor, it's 721 East Fletcher. I'm here for Barbaritos. I'm an attorney. I talked to my client. I instructed him what needs to be done. He is aware. I'm going to handle getting a site plan to the enforcement, and I think this should be resolved rather quickly.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions for the respondent? Thank you, you can have a seat, thank you.
Thanks.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay. In case number 244862, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 7021 East Fletcher Avenue. Where am I? My mind is gone blank.
What are you looking for?
Yep, I'm looking for the violation. Violation being section 12-234B, 48B, outdoor seating restaurant. The motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Lori Smith, and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
A second.
Motion and second from Bill. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So your client has been found in violation, but because they brought it into compliance, there's no fine. However, just like the last one, if they do it again, it's now considered repeat, fines go up, okay? And that's for 5 years. Okay, thank you. Again, you're welcome to stay or you can leave, it's up to you. Let's take a very short break.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
4917.
Next case is case number 24-4917, City versus 12260 Group Incorporated for the property located at 12260 Morris Bridge Road. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, Permits Act Required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively December the 10th, 2024. My inspection revealed the parking lot had been resealed and striped without a permit. At this time, I spoke with the general manager, Mr. Peart, and advised of a reinspection date of the 26th of December, 2024. A reinspection on January the 6th, 2025 noted no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of February the 14th, 2025. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to General Manager Mr. Peart. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on December the 10th, 2024, and a copy of the stop work order in Central Square.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Thank you. Exhibit number 1 shows the west side front parking area resealed. Number 2 shows the west side front parking area resealed. Exhibit number 3 shows the west side rear parking area resealed. Mr. Chairman, I spoke with the owner of the property on the 24th of February 2025 concerning the notice of hearing and what was needed to abate the violation. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance and I'm seeking a ruling.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for the code officer? Is the respondent here?
Yes, sir. Mr. Peart, the general manager, is here, would like to come up and address the board, sir.
Have you been sworn in?
Yes.
Yes, I will.
Okay. State your name and address, please.
Yes, Ricardo Peard, 12260 Morris Bridge Road, Temple Terrace, Florida, 33637. So I spoke with Miss Lori on the day of the violation. Unfortunately, we were not aware that we needed a permit since the same company did one of our other properties in Brandon, and Hillsborough does not require one. So once she informed us, they literally stopped, but again, the job was already completed. So I've contacted the Temple Terrace code enforcer. I spoke with Candy, and she mentioned that we cannot get the permit since we did not do it. So I've called Scorpion LLC, which was the contractor who did the job, and he said he's going to resume and get the permit. So we're asking for at least 30 extra days to get this in compliance, because there's nothing that we can do until the contractor get it done.
So your contractor said he's going to come in and get the permit, or?
Yes, so as of right now, the CFO for a company is holding payment until he gets that part complete. So more than likely he has.
That's a motivator.
Yeah, that should get him in, yeah.
So we're asking for 30 days until yes.
Any questions for the respondent?
So you think they already submitted the permit?
I spoke with him today, and I spoke to Candy. From what I was told, he has not did the permit as of yet. But today he said he was going to get his GC to get that done. I don't know if he called or if he came in. That I don't know.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do that.
Okay.
In case number 244917, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 12260 Morris Bridge Road, with the applicable code violation section 8-28 subsection A subsection 1 permit application required. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before April 9th, 2029, 2025, April 9th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order or on before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, action taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So you've been found in violation. You have until April 9th to get the permit.
Okay.
If you don't have a permit by April 9th, fines will begin to accrue against you, not your contractor. But you can come back in at our meeting on April 9th and ask for an extension. There is no guarantee you will get an extension.
Okay.
You have the right to ask for one.
Okay. Now, I have another question. If by any chance the contractor does not come and get the permit, from what I was told by Candy, the hotel cannot do the permit. Is that correct?
That's correct, because you didn't do the work. And you're not an asphalt contractor.
Correct. Okay. I appreciate it.
Okay, and again, the fine will begin to accrue on April 9th against you, not against your contractor.
I understand. Yes.
Okay.
I'll let the owners know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who had the second on the motion?
Say again?
It was me. Yeah.
Okay, next case, please.
Make sure it's not 2029, it's 2025.
We got on.
Most people do 2024. You skipped ahead.
It's on the record. We're good.
I want.
Next case, please.
Next case is case number 25-0068, City versus Crystal D. Herrera for the property located at 5401 East 98th Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-8592, RVs, boats, and trailers. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening and welcome back, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on January 6, 2025 for a utility trailer in the front yard unscreened from view. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of January 8, 2025. My reinspection on January 17th showed no change, so I generated a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of January 22, 2025. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall on the electronic board for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on February 28 showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the March Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on January 17th and February 28th, 2025.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Exhibit number 1 shows the notice of violation posting. Exhibit number 2 shows the unscreened trailer now in the side yard. And the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
I guess I missed the unscreened.
Is the respondent here?
Yes, sir.
Would he like to approach?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, would she like to approach? Sorry. Coming up, have you been sworn in?
Yes.
Name and address, please.
Crystal Herrera, 5401 East 98th Avenue.
Floor is yours.
Okay, so the first violation I didn't get, I think it blew off. But basically, the reason for the utility trailer is I was in a car accident between the two hurricanes, lost my job, lost my car. And in order for me to try to, to support my family, I've been reselling. So my dad let me borrow his trailer. My dad was a landscaper for many years. And so I'm borrowing his trailer. So we were just doing a lot of loads, and my boyfriend who helps me, he travels for work, and I can't move the trailer by myself. So what we had to do is we had to get it to where it's at now, I had to cut a tree down. So I cut a small tree down, and I was able to get it into the backyard, and I do have some fencing I'm gonna be putting up. So if I could get an extension till the next hearing so I can try to get the fence so it can be not shown. But I need the trailer to work. In order for me, I resell furniture. I do like storage auctions. I buy them online, and then I have to pick up the items and resell them. But I need the trailer.
Even if you're found in violation tonight, you'll have until April 9th to bring it into compliance.
Okay.
And if you bring it into compliance by April 9th, there won't be a fine. But you don't have to ask for an extension. That's just.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some fencing put up, because to take it to my dad's house in Lutz and like drive back and forth is just a lot. It's a lot of like the travel already. So, my dad came and like helped me. He was out of town. He came and cut the tree for me, so we could get it out of the way. And he thought that would be sufficient. So.
How it works.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the respondent?
Just for you also.
Go ahead.
Just remind them not to be also a repeat violator, because this is easy to become a repeat violator.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that just so she knows, I don't know if this is how large a fence you're gonna put up, but that can require a permit also, right?
That's not gonna require a permit.
The small.
Probably 15 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just small partitions
Okay.
right on my sides of my yard there. I have small area right there on both
Okay.
sides. It's open.
Just wanted to be sure.
Good question. But you'll be putting a gate there.
I guess I need to find out more details on how it needs to be covered. I thought the side of the yard was fine, and he showed the picture, and he's saying it's still not in compliance. So I just gotta figure something out.
Well.
Because it's surviving right now, like.
Depending on how much fence you put up, you may need a permit for the fence as well.
No, I heard what he said, yeah. I just like, for me to move the trailer right now, I'm just trying to figure out, because I don't even have another car.
Okay, well, that's
So
not-
it's, yeah, I just finished my case and stuff, so.
Talk to the code enforcement officer about that.
About code
What
enforcement.
your options are.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. You can have a seat, ma'am.
Thanks.
Oh, okay.
It's motion time.
I saw Brian hit his.
Oh, I was looking, go for it, Bill.
All right.
I was busy last.
So in case number 25-0068, I move the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists at the property located at 5401 East 98th Avenue. The code violation is section 12-859, subsection 2. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before April 9th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So you have been found in violation. You have until April 9th to bring the property into compliance. If the property is not brought into compliance by April 9th, a fine of $25 per day will begin to accrue. If for some reason, whatever circumstances prevent you from bringing the property into compliance, you're welcome to come back on April 9th and ask for an extension. There is no guarantee that you will get an extension, but you are welcome to ask, okay? As far as options as to how to bring the property into compliance, you need to discuss that with the code compliance officer. Okay, good. And you're welcome to stay or you can leave, it's up to you. Thank you. Next case, please.
Next case, this is the last arrival, is case number 24-2353, City versus James Allen Joyce A.G. Evans for the property located at 11305 East Queensway Drive. This is under unfinished businesses.
Thank you.
The deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
This is on the unfinished business. This was a case.
What's 0547?
This is,
2353.
353.
2353.
253, okay, 2353, got it, okay.
this was a case that I presented 3 months ago for a nuisance of a building that was from a fire. Mr. Evans has been coming each month requesting, he's been providing some information to the board, but I'm here, he's probably here tonight to ask for another extension, I'm not sure. But I do know that he has applied and been submitted a demo permit. It was probably about 10 days ago. So I'm not sure what he has to say tonight.
Bring me up to speed since I missed it. You said the house caught on fire?
Yeah, this was a house that caught on fire probably almost a year ago. And it's been sitting in disrepair. It's a nuisance to the neighbors. So I presented this case about 3 months ago. And he's been, like I said, he's been coming each month requesting additional 30 days.
And was the house completely gutted or?
Yes, it's on,
Had the chimney issue first.
yes.
Joe, do you have the
garage
file
has
on
been
this one?
Yes.
burnt, has caught on fire. And
Above the garage.
Smoke damage on the inside of the house.
Smoke damage on the inside, but the walls are still up?
But he wants to demolish, yeah, he's gonna demolish it.
Just
That's-
we do have like photos from
Oh, you do? Okay,
files
that's
here.
very helpful, thank
And
you.
whoever else was not here, were you here last time? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Written by
Oh, okay, that helps. Yes.
Yeah.
And you said the respondent is here?
I believe, Mr. Evans?
Yeah.
Sir, you-
Come on up.
He does need to be sworn in.
Was he sworn in?
No.
Okay.
You swear me in.
He was sworn in?
He was not sworn.
Was not, okay, you'll have to get sworn in.
Have you done each time, right?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide the board tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, name and address, please.
James Evans, 11305 East Queensway Drive, Temple Terrace, 33617. As you know, or you don't, but everybody else knows, the house has been under an insurance issue since it was burned. It's beyond smoke and smoke. It's going to have to be torn down completely. The reason we didn't have a release from the insurance company to tear it down. They had not completed their assessment, quote unquote, of the interior. In a good faith effort, I went ahead and pulled a demolition permit, and I'm going to start gutting the interior. However, the good news is, as of yesterday, they gave me a partial release on the interior. So I can now proceed for the first time with demolition. So I do have a permit for demolition for myself to start tearing everything out of the house. That's as far as I could go until literally today. So now I can go ahead and hire a full-side. They made me hire a contractor, but I can notify him that he can go ahead and start preparation for the overall demolition.
I am still gonna go ahead and start with the interior on my own, which is what I have the permit for today. Now, when I pull the permit, I'm not allowed to proceed until they get a pre-demolition inspection, which is called and is not done yet. And Dallas and I talked about tonight, I'm gonna need to pull another permit for a temporary power pole. Because we do have the power pulled off the house, but they haven't pulled the wires out from under the ground, which we're just gonna move over to a power pole, so I have power tools to use for the demolition.
And somebody.
So we
either
finally got,
Tom or the other, just excuse me, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
What's it gonna take to bring this property into compliance? Is it just getting the permit or is it actual
No,
demolition?
the demo of the structure.
Okay.
Demo of the whole thing. The violation is a nuisance of the structure.
So
So
the
only
demo
way-
is what has to occur?
That's correct.
Okay.
Or repair.
Or repair, yeah. But you're talking demo, so.
Yeah, I mean, the insurance company finally, after months and months and months, finally decided it's cheaper to tear it down and start over.
And when do you anticipate that,
This permit is good till September.
understood, but when do you actually anticipate the
I'm
demo?
gonna start putting trailers in there, but I'm afraid to put a trailer in there because I may get fined for a repeat offense, since I had a trailer there before that they cited me while I was demoing the chimney. So I'm not putting anything on that property until I have a okay from the building department saying that I have permission to start the demolition, which is a requirement of their permit. But I'm gonna start putting the trailers there immediately, as soon as I get an inspection.
Okay.
And I've called for the inspection, so that's gonna happen. I'm gonna start at least gutting the interior that I can, whatever I can carry.
And you're here to ask for a 30-day extension?
Whatever it takes, just keep going. I mean, it's like, I can't do anything without the insurance money. But now that they finally, yesterday, they signed off on it, and I didn't want to take anything out of the inside because that was the only part of the insurance that they hadn't approved, was the inside. And that's a whole nother story. We finally found out what the problem was, and that was resolved last week. And they got at least a partial payment that they issued yet the 12th. I got the letter today, the 12th, but they released a portion of the interior yesterday.
Does the city have any objection to an extension?
I mean, I can pretty much guarantee you that the full-blown demolition is not going to occur within 30 days. I just feel like this has been dragged out long enough. I will say I will grant another 30 days, but after that, I'm just about done. I mean, as far as, this has been dragging on for a long period of time. The chimney, when we dealt with that, that took almost a year to get that in compliance. So this is a different violation. Insurance company, but.
Any other questions for the respondent?
Yes, for the respondent. You think in this 30 days, this will be all completely done without?
I'm certainly going to try, but I'm going to do my part. But as far as a general contractor to go in there with cranes and wrecking balls, whatever it's going to take to tear it down, I don't know. I honestly don't. They could say, oh, we've got nothing to do next week. We can come right over.
No, I think as
I don't know.
Tom mentioned, once
It's been
they
a
demo
long
the
time, but
building-
it's been a problem with the insurance. It's not a
Nothing
question of
you can
me.
take
I've done what I can
Well,
do.
one at a time, please.
No, I'm a little bit, I'll shut up, but
Thank you.
I have maintained the property. I have mowed it. I've
So-
kept it up. He has a lot of.
Tearing down the building,
Time.
just explain to me, Tom, tearing down the building, even still some debris there, it won't be considered a nuisance because it's work in process. And that then will bring it to compliance. It could be done in a couple of days, in my book,
That's correct.
you know.
But he has a lot of debris inside that house. Personal property. He has a lot of personal property inside that house. It is. And it could take him over a month just to remove the personal property.
Before the demo starts.
Yeah.
One at a time. Brian.
Our goal is progress. We want to see progress.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I came in. I brought you. I told you before that I hired an architect. I got the
I have to say it
plans
again.
sent
I have
in.
to say it again. I got a light in the back. Progress. We're here for progress.
Yeah.
And I know that's what you're here for.
And that's why I just showed you progress.
That's what we want. And so we've gotten the permits. We see you filed for them. I like that. I like to see that you're doing the right things, but, as far as what you can do, what do you think you can do before your contractor comes in to do the big?
I'm gonna start taking the stuff that I know is not in dispute out of the house. There's not
Okay.
much, to be honest. I mean, there's a few things that are still salvageable in there,
Right,
and I'm gonna let the big boys come in with just bulldozers or whatever it takes.
yeah,
I'm gonna mostly go after all the stuff that I think I can probably save, which is my wife's china, my grandmother's china,
yeah,
this kind of stuff that's still in the house.
okay,
There's very little furniture, the stuff I'm gonna try to save is mostly heirloom stuff.
okay,
And I gotta dig under stuff. I mean, a lot of the ceilings are down. They're telling me not to even go in there, but I still wanna at least try to get stuff that my parents passed away and it's in that house. My wife's parents passed away, it's in that house. I've got family stuff there. I've got all my relatives. Basically, I'm an orphan. All my relatives, my brothers, sisters, everybody has passed away but me. And I'm the one that got everything left too. So, there's a lot of stuff still in there and most of it is not usable. But there's a few things.
You're planning to tear down the entire house, not just the garage part?
Oh, no, the whole house has to go.
Okay.
Yeah, because it burned through the main wiring harness, so that means every piece of sheetrock in the house has to come out. And the second floor, almost all the ceilings are caved in, the trusses have to be replaced. It's just, there's just no point in trying to fix it.
Got it.
That's where we stayed for months trying to figure out how to fix it, and then it's just not gonna happen.
Thank you. You can have a seat.
All right?
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Okay.
In case number 2423, 53, I move that we extend the compliance till April 9th, 2025.
A motion, do I have a second?
A second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
What if we gave him 60 days? The only reason I'm saying that is obviously he's working in, insurance is what has, is where, what has brought us here. So it's nothing he's done, and we all know what insurance companies are like. And Tom is saying there's a lot of stuff in there. And I'd hate to have him come back again and give him another 30 days.
I consider that, Gina, but it's been over a year.
Yeah, but it's also the insurance company.
I understand,
problem.
you know, it could be.
Ernie.
Real quick, as Board Member Hubert said, we're looking for progress. If we go 60 days, my concern is we don't know what's happening in those 60 days. If he comes back in 30 days, we can get a progress report and we can keep moving forward. And one would hope that Mr. Evans would allow one of the code inspectors to see, because a lot of this, if he's moving stuff from the out, from inside out and moving it out, it's kind of like hidden progress there. We don't know if something's happening. So hopefully, there'll be a way for our code inspectors to be able to see that there is progress happening. I think that's, just, we gotta keep moving forward. And I think monthly status checks would do that.
So what has to happen for it to be in compliance?
The whole house
The
has.
whole house has to come down?
Yes.
however, he has the permits in progress.
Right.
And he has a plan in progress. Our goal is to make sure that that plan is going
Yeah.
according to plan.
I just,
That's-
I would hate to see, 30 days from now and progress has been made, but the house is still standing. And
Well,
us,
I don't expect the house to be down in 30 days, I'm not gonna lie. But I also, I don't wanna give 60, 90 days and then, cause as you say, we all know insurance companies, it's the industry I worked in for a very long time. It's not all on them and there's more to it. So we need to see that work is being done on
Yeah.
all sides.
Okay.
All right.
I agree. I think we need to see progress. That's all.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion carries. So you've been given an extension until April 9th, and you know the drill. Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good night. Good luck. Next case, please.
At the very least, I'll have a better idea of what the contractor that's gonna do the actual Big stuff.
Okay, if you're gonna talk, you're gonna have to come up to the dais. Name and address.
Jim Evans, 11305 East Queensway Drive, Temple Terrace. All I was gonna say is that I can certainly, by the next time, hopefully the contractor will have a schedule by then, and I can say when they're gonna be showing up with the bulldozers.
Look forward.
All right, and I just wanted to make sure that nobody comes by and complains about the trailers out front for me loading them. So, thank you.
Good luck. Next case, please.
Turn back to the beginning of the agenda, case number 24-4665, City versus Thomas and Linda Beckman for the property located at 610 Hollywood Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, permits app required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
This case was dismissed.
Yeah, I thought it was.
This was dismissed, this case. This was a case that was presented last month. The couple came in and they purchased a shed, and we hit them for not obtaining a permit. And the shed doesn't require a permit.
Okay.
That's why we're closing that case.
Okay, next case.
That's what I thought.
Next case is case number 24-4941, City versus Angela Marin for the property located at 520 Courtney Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 10-3B, sanitation grass weeds. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
You? Oh, Tom Baroni, not Lori Smith.
Still look very next case. So I'm going to present this case. This case this evening originated on December 30th, 2024, when Officer Steve Valley noted overgrown conditions throughout the front yard. That morning, he left a door hanger with a reinspection date of January 13th, 2025. On January 9th, 2025, Officer Valley did receive a phone call from the female owner stating that the lawnmower was broken and that it needed some additional time. Officer Valley inspection on February 5th, 2025 noted no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared on that date with the February 25th compliance date. Officer Valley inspection on February 26th, 2025 again noted no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by Stephen Valley. Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice letter at the front door on February 6, 2025. Exhibit number 2 and 3 are photos that display the overgrown weeds in the front yard that was taken on February 28th. I'd like to submit at this time.
Accepted, thank you.
Fabulous, thank you.
So my inspection on today's date noted that the yard had been mowed. Therefore, I'm submitting an affidavit of compliance.
Great, we'll accept that too, thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In case number 24-4941, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 520 Courtney Drive with the applicable code violation section 10-3 subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is case number 24-4945, City versus Terrace Ridge Incorporated for the property located at 5515 East Fowler Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-234B 48B, outdoor seating restaurants. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again. This case, Lori Smith Code Compliance, this case originated on December the 31st, 2024, when I visited the business on their outdoor seating requirements. A check with Community Development that same day noted a site plan requirement was not submitted to the city planner for review or approval. On January the 2nd, 2025, I spoke with the business manager on the changes of the code ordinance that was implemented back in July of 2022. A check with city planners on January the 31st, 2025 noted no site plan submitted. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of February the 14th, 2025. Sent over a copy of the notice letter by email, confirmed delivery by property manager Stacy Robinson. A check with the city planner noted no change on February the 28th, 2025. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on January the 31st, 2025.
Accept that, thank you.
Thank you. Exhibit number 1 and 2 shows the tables and chairs out on the breezeway. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance. Therefore, I am seeking a ruling.
Okay. Any questions for the code officer?
So, how long do you think they've been doing this?
Sir, I'm not sure.
It's not a repeat.
It's
been a few years.
Few years,
a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But did anybody approach them and tell them that that's wrong? Or
Yes, Lori.
She did.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, before this, I think he's before this, right?
Before? No, I meant before this. Nobody.
This code section was changed 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
In 2022, it changed.
Right.
Where now, that was the revision to the code where you have to gain the approval of the city.
Before.
Before, I guess, they didn't
Like in
have
the-
that portion of that in there.
Whoever have a restaurant, they have to show site plans and get permission to have outdoor seating.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We had
It
no.
also has to meet certain ADA requirements.
That is
Okay,
correct,
yeah.
sir.
So we did not have that in the code before
That's correct.
till 2.5 years ago. Okay, that's why I wanted, because I've lived here so long, I've always seen outdoor seating. I never really thought about it. I always said outdoors, but, you know.
Just to clarify, it's the, 3.5 feet for ADA
Yes.
wheelchair compliance?
Yep.
Right?
There
Okay,
has to be a buffer
okay.
protecting the people that are sitting around the table and chairs.
I just figured that'd be a good thing
There's
to,
criteria to the outdoor seating.
And we have no representation from anybody
It
telling
depends.
us why they're not in
Planter,
compliance.
buffer.
Well, we have this, sir. You know, like I said, I made a copy of for each business. That was New York's, Carrabba's and Barritos. You know, saying that there was nothing submitted for, as far as a permit application, a site plan for any of those businesses. Here's another copy of it. For each business that I presented, so each one has that. A check today, there has been nothing
In this particular
submitted.
case, they were told in December they needed a site plan. We're now in March and they have not submitted the site plan.
Nothing happened.
That is correct, sir.
Have they been communicating with you?
No, sir, not all the way, no, they have not. I spoke with them in the beginning, and I've let you know through my testimony of when the contact took place with each of the individuals and what was stated. So hopefully moving forward, if they're interested in outdoor seating, sir, they just approach the city and get the city's approval.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
all right, I'll do this one.
Okay?
All right, in case number 24-4945, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 5515 East Fowler Avenue. Code violation, section 12-234, subsection B, subsection 48, subsection B. So, this motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before April 9th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is case number 25-0179, City versus Bruce and Melissa Jameson for the property located at 1601 North River Hills Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-8592, RVs, boats, and trailers. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case this evening originated on January 13, 2025, when I observed a trailer stored in the front yard unscreened from view. I left the door hanging that day with a reinspection date of January 16th. My inspection on the 21st of January noted no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared that same day with the compliance date of January 28, 2025. The notice letter was posted at the front door of the violation, and I also requested copies be sent out certified in first-class mail. I also requested a copy be posted on the electronic board at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My compliance inspection on February 14, 2025 noted no change. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on January 23, 2025. Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice letter. Exhibit number 2 shows the trailer in the front yard unscreened from view. I'd like to submit. Same thing with the,
Oh, very nice.
So my inspection on March 10, 2025 noted that the trailer had been removed from the yard. Therefore, the property is now in compliance. I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
I did receive a phone call from Mr. Bruce Jameson. He was out of the country for 30 days. So everything, compliance was delayed because he was out of the country.
But he's now in compliance.
He's in compliance.
Okay. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Thank you. Out of that one.
Thank you.
In case number 25-0179, I move the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 1601 North River Hills Drive, applicable code sections 12-859 subsection 2. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officers, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is case number 25-0547, City versus Temple Terrace Associates LLC, care of Buckingham Properties, for the property located at 9221 North 56th Street. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-1665A, Minimum Standards Commercial Buffer Repair. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by a phone call from the fire chief for a collapsed concrete panel wall impeding access to an adjacent fire hydrant on January 31st, 2025. I went directly to a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of February 6. I contacted the property management company and emailed them a copy of notice of violation as well, and a copy of the notice was also posted at City Hall on the electronic board for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. A reinspection on February 28th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the March Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I would like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by myself on February 28th.
Accept that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the damaged wall and fire hydrant. Exhibit number 2 shows the damaged wall. At this time, the site is in compliance, and I'm seeking a finding and would like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
We'll certainly accept that, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
That's the rear of my business. And it is in compliance. I saw a wall go up.
Any other questions?
Sir, did you have anything to do with that wall collapsing?
No, this happened after,
Just curious.
by the way, it happened after the hurricane.
Yes. It was caused by the hurricane?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Rod is fitting.
I'll do it. It's in compliance. Okay, last case. In case 250547, I move that the city has proven by the weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 5602 9221 North 56th Street, with the applicable code violation, Section 8-166, subsection 5, subsection A. Then this motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move there'll be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. That finishes our new business on the unfinished.
There are two remaining under unfinished businesses. Case number 24-2968, City versus Michael S. and Spectrum Medical Park LLC for the property located at 311 Bullet Parkway A. The deadline for compliance is midnight tonight. And case number 24-3477, City versus Hilvano Nava for the property located at 203 Redwood Avenue. The deadline for compliance is midnight tonight. That concludes the agenda.
Good. Any other board action? Any new business?
Can I welcome you back?
Well, thank you.
A second.
Yeah, thank you for, I'm glad that you're well enough and you're back rocking out.
Any lien report? No? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.